Okay, game two is the Dark Ages set here, and there's some nice cards on the board, but what is lacking is draw. So you have your village in Minstrel, but there's no draw. There's procession, but it doesn't draw. If you process a Market Square or a Sage, it just leaves you with 5 cards in hand. It doesn't increase your hand size. So because there's no draw, what I'm thinking is to just play a kind of money strategy using Market Square to gain golds. There are a couple things that trash, Junk Dealer and Altar. Procession also trashes, but don't really want to pick up a Procession in this game. I just want to play um, Treasure Flood really with a lot of Market Squares. There is the nice action chain for the Procession on this board, going from Vagrant to Market Square, up to 4, 5, and 6 even. So the board can support the Procession very, very easily, but I don't want to go for it. I want to play money because of the lack of draw. So that means picking up a Junk Dealer or an Altar early, and the best way to go about that is Scavenger Silver, I believe. Scavenger is a excellent 4-cost card. Right up there, I think it's quite powerful. And it does kind of put Chancellor in the shade a little bit. Sorry, Chancellor. So 6 here, I wasn't expecting to get up to 6. I was expecting to get up to 5. But I do get up to 6, and it does mean I will take the Altar here. I could take the Junk Dealer right away, but I believe the Altar is a better choice. Okay, I can gain Junk Dealers now, gain nice cards during the game, or in the middle of the game, and gain duchies near the end of the game if I need to. So I think the Altar is quite strong. And the Scavenger has been putting in quite a bit of work in the opening turns here, allowing me to top deck the Altar here and getting me to the Altar on the previous turn. So I do have a Junk Dealer and an Altar now. I seem to be in good position to start trashing things down. And my opponent does seem to be going for the same strategy, picking up nearly identical cards to me. They haven't the Altar, but they haven't had the money to buy an Altar yet, so don't know if they want the Altar or not. So I do get my first Market Square here, along with my second Junk Dealer. I believe just 2 Junk Dealers will be sufficient in addition to the Altar to get me through to a nice deck, which really would look like a bunch of gold, to be honest. And eventually I can use the Altar to get rid of the Junk Dealers. Right, I can convert those into whatever, Banda Misfits, Duchies, not Minstrels. I mean, there is something to say for the Minstrel. Like, here I thought about the Minstrel so you could line up Junk Dealer and Market Square more easily and get the trigger going. But, I mean, the Minstrel also has utter disregard for your golds, and you'll lose gold by playing the Minstrel, probably. So I choose not to pick up the Minstrel there, instead going for another Market Square. I think 2 or 3 Market Squares should be sufficient to get the trigger going. And I do top deck a Market Square here because, like I said, I want to play this as money as possible. So flooding my deck with gold is going to be the way to go, right? I don't have to wait till I get super thin to react 2 or 3 at once. I mean, the coppers don't really hurt our money strategy too much, right? 2 coppers, 2 goals, and you're there. You are where you need to be, which is very good in this kingdom because there's no way to increase your hand size, right? You have $8 from 5 cards, that's a lot. So my opponent gets a 3rd Junk Dealer, and actually seeing this hand, I'm inspired to pick up a 3rd one myself. Here I have quite a few options to top deck, right? Could be the band, could be the Junk Dealer, but could be the gold also, but I choose the Market Square. Again, for the reason that I stated earlier, it's a money deck. I know I have a Junk Dealer in the back here. I will get the trigger of this Market Square to put gold in. Another $4 hand for me is a little bit uncomfortable. Procession is an idea. Silver at this point is an idea. Another scavenger is not crazy at all. Not crazy at all, especially with the Banda Misfits in my deck. I do like the Banda Misfits. The flexibility here is excellent. They can be a scavenger, it can be a procession if I need it to be, it can be a storeroom if I need it to be, vagrant even. So I quite like the flexibility it gives, especially here. I can do so many things with it, and my opponent doesn't have that. And also, they have opted not to play with the altar. So a couple times now, they've had 6+ in their hand, or on board anyway, and they've chosen, well, not the altar. In this case, they've chosen gold. So they seem to be just trying to flood their deck with gold and run the provinces to make the altar not an issue at all. So I do get my third junk dealer here. These $4 hands have to stop, so I'm gonna pick up the junk dealer now to get to hopefully eradicate that problem. And yeah, my opponent starts off the provinces on this turn. So here I am not going to react this market square. I want to play it to find money to buy a province myself. I believe my opponent's deck is quite good. They've trashed probably a little bit more than me, so their deck is full of, you know, sizable treasures, and I expect them to be going province a turn from here on out, so I do not want to fall behind with that. So that is why I play the market square there instead of reacting it. If I had more time, obviously I would have reacted it, but I don't. So not going to discard the deck here. I have 2 gold left, so I expect to get to province next turn as well, and I am able to do so, but only, well, not only, but I have to play the Band of Misfits as a scavenger to guarantee that happening. I could try, oh, Storeroom also works. Storeroom also works. I was thinking actually of maybe Vagrant or Market Square to try to draw into money, but I decided against it. That was far too risky. So I know I said I thought my opponent would go province a turn, but there's no province on this turn, so I'm glad for that, of course. I thought this would be province, but it's not. Instead, it is another gold. And I am just going to play it safe, use the Band of Misfits as a scavenger to get up to 8, right? It does mean giving up an altar play here, but I'd rather have the province for sure. And in any case, I may have had to give up the altar play because I would want the copper. So scavenger means I get to top deck a card here, which is going to be the gold, I believe. Did I top deck a gold? No, I didn't top deck a gold. I top deck a junk dealer. Right, and why I top deck a junk dealer is because I know there's things to trash in the bottom of my shuffle, particularly this overgrown estate. So I will not drop my hand size because of that, which is nice. Again, choosing not to react the market squares because I want to draw into money. I want to draw into money. And I do draw into money, luckily. So I'm able to pick up province number 3 here. Not going to discard the deck. Oh, actually I am, sorry, I apologize. I am going to discard the deck, put a gold on top there, and pick up province number 3 for me. And this is quite a lucky hand, I have province number 4 in hand here, but I might not want to take it if my opponent gets up to province this turn. Probably I don't want to take it because the market square is a plus pi. You could go province estate and sneak out a win that way. But yeah, he actually doesn't come up with 8. I was genuinely surprised. And doesn't go for the duchy either, instead choosing a vagrant and a market square. So I'm definitely discarding the deck here to get these golds back in the shuffle, and definitely buying province number 4. And that puts him in a very uncomfortable position at this point. He has to take both provinces to win, and he goes for it here, which is the correct move to make. And I spent an age thinking here because I had the score situation messed up, even though it's written clearly on the side here. I thought I was at 18 and he was at 24 and was thinking, what is my best move here? Maybe I should procession the altar to get 2 duchies. But then I realized what was going on and that I'm ahead on points and actually just a duchy is sufficient. Like I don't think he can get up to province and duchy with the money he has in his deck. So just using the altar once would probably be enough to yeah, not lose the game or not have the game drawn anyway. So I am going to use the altar here to pick up a duchy and pick up an estate is what I'm considering, and I go for it. The estate isn't really necessary, but it does prevent the flukish 13 and 2 buys from my opponent. Probably can do it with like perfect draw, but here I am not going to play any of these cards. I'm tracking my deck. I know I have a market square in the back and 2 goals and the scavenger. That next hand is guaranteed province, and I don't need to, go looking for money to buy a duchy. I'm in front. Just the estate is good enough here to get out of the draw scenario, and the bottom card is the gold. I'm pretty sure of it. So I don't think there's much he could do about the game in this position, and I am gonna take the Dark Ages set here. So nice market square gold gaining thing here, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.